Hi, I'm Sam. I'm the co-founder of Kingdom Impact Lab, and in this video series I will be talking about the Sermon on the Mount. I'm going to deep dive into all of Jesus' teaching in the Sermon on the Mount and explain them all, talk them through, try to develop my own understanding, and then more usefully for you towards the end is I want to show you how you can then apply, how I'm going to try to apply it in my own business of building a business on biblical principles from the bottom up, and practical ways that you can do. So in this video here we are talking about the Beatitudes, and this one is on Beatitude 4, which is blessed are those who hunger and thirst for righteousness, for they will be filled. So this is an interesting one, and this is one that kind of resonates with me and what I've been kind of talking about in teaching, and that is essentially it is the pursuit of finding meaning and purpose in the things that you do in your day-to-day life over short-term sort of gains and short-term gratification. So the hunger and thirst for righteousness is a deep inner desire for what's true, for what's right, for having integrity. It's having a hunger for, let me rephrase, it's to have a deep desire for following and enacting God's will and not over worldly success, which essentially is the opposite of what is taught and what goes on in the marketplace and in the business world, where we all know, if we have a business or even if we're just in the workforce, that everything we do is measured on tracking KPIs, sales numbers, conversions, number of this, number of that, and that's what we aim for each week, each month, each quarter. And then at the end of the quarter, if you were to review things, okay, wow, you've made so much money this month, wow, next quarter let's try to make it 5% more, and then you're focused on that, and essentially your North Star, the highest thing that you aim for, is always based on some kind of transactional goal, which is making money or not losing money, which then trickles down and infuses the entire culture of the organisation that you're in. And so everything that you do is then based on transaction, making money. Money is essentially the idol in business. And that is typically what the marketplace is like, typically what the business world is like. I know for a fact, because for maybe 10 years as a freelancer, and then as having a marketing agency, that is pretty much exactly what I was after. It was the pursuit of money, pursuit of revenue targets, and treating people in a transactional way. It was trying to create content that was optimized for conversions rather than for the benefit of anyone that actually read them. It was trying to figure out my target audience based on the pain points that I researched, and then using persuasive language to create a fake emotional connection with them by masquerading as someone that's gone through the problem or implying that I've gone through the problem myself, when in actual fact I haven't. This was especially the case when working for clients. It's hiring people on a $1 per hour, and you are just viewing their contributions entirely as ROI, and not getting to know them as a person, which happened to me as being a hired contractor, and also as someone that has hired contractors and people to work for me, and generally it's just not a good thing. Now, the way, let me explain this, and let's go down the rabbit hole a bit more, because what I found as well was, for 8 years or so, I worked extremely hard trying to improve my knowledge and skills, reading all the business books, copywriting books, training, and all of this stuff, and I got quite good at it. But the primary pursuit was money. Now, I recorded a video earlier where I spoke about this, and the pursuit of money is not intrinsically a bad thing, because we have to look at Maslow's hierarchy of needs, and it's important to make sure you've got food and water before you sit around and give your money to a coach who's going to help you uncover the meaning of life, right? You need to get your basic needs met first. You need to be in a some kind of financial security before you can start to think about other things. You've got to feed your kids and put clothes on your kids before you can daydream about the meaning of life, right? Or another way to put it is you're gonna focus on making sure that your kids are fed and have got a roof over their head and a bed to sleep in before you spend your money that you on a cruise or a 5-star hotel. You have to prioritize the immediate needs first, and then when these needs are met, then you can pursue the higher things. And so for me, I went through sort of 3 kind of milestones here. And the first is when I was young and first started to work and made money, and the only purpose that I went to work and made money for was to spend it on things and to enjoy it. And it was, $20. Oh, couldn't believe that. Going to a teenager having $20 in your pocket, and then $50 and $100 and all these things. So you spend it. You have no responsibility. So I spend it. I guess that's a normal thing for people to do. Maybe it was just me. And then after a while, my wife Tatum and I we decided to travel. We travelled, living as digital nomads for 3-4 years. And so each month our travel expenses on average were about $1,500, not much. And so the only goal that we had was to make more than $1,500 to cover next month's travel. Otherwise, we had to go home and sort of rebuild. So that was the objective, which intrinsically has meaning, because we needed to make $1,500 so we can continue to pursue travel and to pursue and maintain the lifestyle. And then after we stopped traveling and we had a kid, our son was born, we weren't traveling anymore. We were now responsible. We're parents, we've got a kid. And so the next financial goal is to have financial security and financial comfort. And so for a long time there was an amount that I was told that I should be aiming to achieve as a freelance copywriter, and then one day I hit it. And then we managed to save up some money, so we weren't living month to month, and we managed to save up a fair bit, so I was able to invest in the business and doing a whole bunch of things. And then I had some money from an early inheritance come through, and so all of a sudden we were financially comfortable. We didn't have to worry about money as much, which I've got to be honest with you, that the real reason why we don't have to worry about money is because we live in Malaysia, where the cost of living is so much lower than it is back at home in England or Europe or Australia or America or wherever it is. So we're extremely fortunate in that sense. But those milestones, each of those had meaning to them. There was purpose to pursuing money. But then I achieved it. And so then I'm trying to search for meaning and purpose in what I'm doing. I'm trying to become the best version of myself, the best that I can be, which is the pursuit of excellence. But my North Star, my highest order goal, the thing that I'm focusing on the most above everything else is making money. There's no meaning in chasing money when you've got enough. The meaning instantly loses itself, at least in my experience. So you're looking for more meaning and purpose in other things. And so this is basically Jacob's ladder. Jordan Peterson explains Jacob's ladder as, for humans, we find joy in the progress towards a goal, meaningful progress towards a meaningful goal. And when we achieve it, we kind of lose interest, we lose the passion, we lose the motivation from it. And that's definitely been my experience. And so what we need is an ever-expanded sequence of bigger and bigger goals that we will pursue, where we have bigger responsibility and basically carry out across. And we are making progress towards what we consider a meaningful goal to the day we take our last breath. Well, the pursuit of money after you've achieved financial security and financial comfort no longer lacks the same level of meaning. So what is it? What do you try to do? Instead, well, this ties back to Beatitude number 4, that blessed are those who hunger and thirst for righteousness, for they will be fulfilled. And so what this would mean is, it's the pursuit of the meaningful goals over the short-term gains. It's placing your highest order aim, your highest order goal. It's making your North Star divine. Divine would be the quest to become Christ-likeness. At least that's the way that I define it and what I'm doing, how I've experienced that myself. What that does is, if you are pursuing Christ-likeness, it gives everything you do intrinsic meaning, because you are actively trying to become more like Christ. It becomes your highest order aim. So what does it mean to become Christ-like? So it would be the pursuit of excellence in character, in your ability, in your integrity. It would be the pursuit of trying to be the biggest blessing to everyone you interact with through your business, whether that's through prospects or content or videos, whatever it is, rather than viewing what you're doing as individual assets for conversions and all of this. If you're doing it because you want to be a blessing to people, you're doing it to act on extravagant love, you're doing it for what's best for the person that you're interacting with at this moment in time, whether it's one-on-one, on a call, in a coaching session, by providing a service, or whether it's at scale through content or videos or whatever it is. It's the pursuit of humble service, having an attitude of humility, which ties into Beatitude 1, is blessed are the poor in spirit. Having an attitude of humility allows you to adopt the mindset that you can learn something from every situation and everything that you do, and you embrace your ignorance, because ignorance is infinite, and so every interaction you go into, you're there to learn, humbly learn. That attitude keeps pride at check, and pride's one of the worst sins when that comes in. It's the pursuit of trying to be having integrity in everything you do, and then to exude Christ in your day-to-day actions, what you do all the time, and then you become magnetic to others, and others come to you. And by adopting what I've just explained, the pursuit of Christ-likeness as your highest order aim over making money, and then you translate this, which is, let's face it, it's difficult to comprehend Christ-likeness because it's infinite, perfect, eternal. You have to take that intangible kind of vision and just apply it in the smallest unit of time, which is what Jordan Peterson teaches, which is your day-to-day decisions. You have to proactively make the decisions that you're going to pursue excellence and extravagant love and act on integrity, because if you don't, the natural forces in the marketplace, which are transactional, secular by nature, are going to pull you away from it. If you're reactive in this situation, you will be subconsciously influenced by the secular transactional marketplace around you, and that is going to pollute what you're trying to do. And that is often, at least in my opinion, that's often why you feel disconnected and you kind of struggle, because you want to do things that impact, you want to help people, you want to adopt this attitude of helping people and trying to become Christ-like and all of this stuff and bringing faith into the workplace. But the natural, the ecosystem you're in is transactional, and it's just a mismatch. It's just problematic, and that's one reason why I think we experience this disillusionment and the struggle, and then burnout as well. We experience the burnout because we are pursuing what we consider to be inherently meaningless goals. Whereas what I personally found, whether this will work for you or not, I don't know, but for me personally, as soon as I accepted Christ and became a Christian and started to take it seriously, and then I put my highest order goal, the highest thing I want to aim for, the top of my Jacob's ladder, what I want my life's mission to be, to become Christ-like, all of a sudden everything I do has meaning and purpose, instantly. You know, it took me a long time to figure it out and go through the framework and, you know, test this and do that and do the other, and all the journaling and whatnot, but it pretty much went from no meaning to chasing just money, because I already hit the financial targets that I wanted. I already had a comfortable lifestyle, comfortable meaning I get to do all the things that I want, while, you know, living within my means, not extravagance or anything, to instantly having meaning and purpose in what I do, and wanting to record videos, and wanting to do this, and wanting to build the business, and wanting to step into the unknown and you know, get out of my comfort zone and all these things, because there's meaning in what I do, and this is the pursuit. Beatitude 4, blessed are those who hunger and thirst for righteousness, for they will be filled, is about the pursuit of the meaningful over short-term gains, and the pursuit of the meaningful. The way to make things meaningful in your business is to have some kind of a divine transcendent goal as your ultimate quest, your ultimate goal, what you ultimately want to achieve in your life. And then, so for me, it's become Christ-like, and that is to apply the pursuit of excellence, integrity, extravagant love to be a blessing to as many people as you can, in, you know, humble service, having integrity in every situation, into everyday decisions, and then just doing that as day to day, week to week, month to month, and setting KPIs and targets in your business based around human impact, and, you know, align your business with biblical principles, and focus on how many meaningful conversations did you have, how many positive comments did you have from a social media post that said that they found this really helpful, or this piece of content has been a blessing, rather than the number of likes. Just flip it around, and then everything that you pursue has intrinsic meaning. Well, at least from my perspective. That's all I've got for you. See you in the next video.